Welcome back to Update On. And since fall has come and the weather is going to get cool, what do you wear now? Everybody is into exercise. You can never be too thin or too rich, I gather. And exercise clothing is a problem unto itself. So Rhonda and Azar are going to help the little old lady who doesn't like to exercise figure out what she should wear. I just want to be able to do it. I'm not going to look good doing it. Azar, you exercise. You lead this discussion.
Yes, the only thing we were going to talk about today, proper attire for exercise. When you exercise in cold weather, in hot weather, in rainy weather, in any kind of weather, you need to have a proper exercise outfit. And also, when you are indoor and outdoor, it's different type of exercise outfit
Yes.
you have to wear. So I want to ask you first, and most important thing is, I want to mention that brand name doesn't make the good fit. What it makes a good fit, what you are comfortable in.
Yes.
When you wear something for an hour when you do exercise, or for a couple of hours you do exercise, whatever you do, it has to be proper, comfortable, and breathable, not to make it to make you sweat, and sweat stays in you, and this type of outfit. What do you think?
The greatest advice that I can give for anybody that's starting into an exercise program would be to fit your attire to whatever type of exercise that you're doing. So someone that's going to go and practice yoga is going to be dressing differently than someone who is going to be out running or strength training or skiing. So whatever type of exercise that you're doing, you want to dress appropriately for that exercise. And then also, if you're going to be indoors versus outdoors, in your home versus in a gym or
Right.
a community type of environment.
So we're not dressing to, shall we say, make a fashion statement.
Well, you can do that too, but you still want to be appropriate to whatever type of
comfortable,
exercise.
yeah.
And comfortable, exactly. And so if you're in a colder weather, then you're going to be dressing differently than if you're in a warm environment. So that's going to depend, so your fabric is going to make a difference, whether or not you have what type of material you have on your skin, versus layering and having layers. So so depending on what you're doing.
What do you think about cotton?
It's very soft.
Yes, I know.
So
No, sometimes, some people, they say cotton is good, especially in summertime. Some I have heard, they say cotton is not good. Some wear rubber-based material. But my opinion is a rubber-based material should be like when they go to the beach or something, to the water or swimming. Not
Scuba
in
diving.
the,
Yeah.
scuba diving or those type of things. Not when they are like in the gym. But cotton, I heard different things. What do you think about those?
I think that, first, cotton's a natural fiber, so it next to your skin, it's a good material to have next to your skin. But it depends on what you're doing. So if you're going into a very meditative yoga type of a class, then cotton would be wonderful because you're not going to get very sweaty. It's very comfortable. You can get it very form-fitting to your body so that when you go up into a headstand or a down dog, it's not going to fall over your head and make you uncomfortable and embarrassed. But if you're going to be in a sweaty type of exercise or physical activity, the cotton will absorb the water, but it doesn't allow the perspiration to evaporate. And so then the body can't cool itself, because that's how the body cools itself.
And that's called wicking, and a lot of clothes will say on it, give it a wicking rating, right?
Yes, and now there could be cotton in that garment, but it's also then a percentage of another type of material that will help wick it out of away from the skin, so that it will evaporate, and then the body can cool itself.
Something like bamboo, which is a natural stripped, processed, which is really a kind of cellulose.
And it's
Which
natural,
rayon is?
biodegradable material. And when it's treated, then it is soft. Just like if linen is another type of material that you can wear if you're just going to be walking outside, and it is a breathable type of material, but it tends to be very scratchy unless it's treated. And then if you do buy a garment that's treated with whether it's something to help block the sun towards your skin, or with some type of a wicking product, then it usually has special washing instructions that you want to pay attention to, because after repeated washes, it will begin to lose its effectiveness. So,
And that's because a lot of these things, what we're talking about is finish. I will give a disclaimer. I was originally a textile major in home economics, so I love this kind of stuff. But finishes do wash off, and you have to be careful of them. That's why in some cases for outdoor outerwear, they will tell you just to spot clean it. And you don't, not everything goes to the dry cleaner before you wear it, so you need to actually read instructions. What a concept.
It's very important to read the instructions. Many people, including my own daughter, when she goes home, as soon as she goes home, she cuts them off. So how do you know how to wash this fabric? You know, at least cut the ones you can put into the washer dryer. Don't cut the ones that is for dry cleaning or other instructions. You know,
Because the
but
dry
that's what she does.
cleaner needs those, because they will often say not
Exactly.
to do them in certain
Exactly.
solvents.
Exactly.
and then also too, some other materials that are good to have on your skin in cooler weather, and also when you're going to perspire a lot, would be the treated silks and wool. And wool will keep you warm, but it's also breathable and allows for the perspiration to wick away from the skin. And some people find wool uncomfortable toward their skin. And from what I understand, there are certain types of wool that you can get that are specifically made for workout wear. And
They're not itchy, huh?
they're not itchy, and you can put a very thin treated silk, like a t-shirt, long sleeve t-shirt, underneath of the wool, and it not only will help you cool the body, but it will also keep you warm. If you're going to be walking when it's windy outside, or jogging when it's windy outside, or whatever type of outdoor activity that you have, and it's windy, you want to. It's usually advisable to walk into the wind when you first start out, and then as you're coming back, allow the wind to your back, so that when you're warm and damp, that you want to be walking with the wind.
And you guys talked about be careful of the finish of the fabric. And if the finish is worn out, what should you do? Buy a new clothing, or you can treat them back, or
Some
something?
things you can treat again, but other things you can't.
You can.
So there are finishes you can spray back on, things like Scotchgard. I'm sorry, they don't do Scotchgard anymore.
Similar to
It
Scotchgard.
is a Teflon now, because DuPont stopped doing Scotchgard, not because it was dangerous to us, but it was dangerous to the workers, so they discontinued it about just over 10 years ago, which I thought was very nice of them.
That's
But
interesting.
there some things you can refinish and other things you can't. But the sun blocking stuff is supposed to be good for 50 launderings, the sunblock, if you do it in cold water and follow the instructions. If you any of these things, if you do it in salt water or hot water,
Hot water, yeah.
or if you really don't want the finish on something, you take a handful of baking soda and throw it into the washing machine, and you wash it in whatever temperature you want, and all the finish will come off. So you've got to be very careful
Wow.
what you use for your laundry.
Oh, I didn't realize that
Really, I
you
didn't know
can't put
that.
the baking soda into, because I use that
I
as
use
a
it-
booster.
Yes,
For
for
a lot of the
cleaning, for a cleaning agent.
Uh-huh.
But it takes, if I have a piece of home deck fabric, and say I've got something that was sold originally for draperies and or pillows, and so they wanted it to be Scotch guarded, and I want to make a jacket out of it, which you can do. But you wash it with the baking soda, and it makes it nice and soft because all the finish is gone.
Oh. You see?
There you
Information
go.
you never knew. But
No.
baking soda will take all the finishes off of.
That's good to know. That's very good to know. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, we
I'm
come in
taking
handy.
notes.
We come in handy. Okay, now we're talking about what to wear, what not to wear. Everybody that I see, except us little old ladies that wore girdles and aren't about to get into a pair of Spanx because it's a girdle, to quote Betty White. I have seen people put on 1 or 2 layers of Spanx because they will look good in exercise clothes and trundle off to the gym. Do you advise that?
Well, I don't personally find that type of clothing comfortable, so I wouldn't wear it. I think that depending upon if you're going to the gym or you're going to be around other people that are exercising with you, you want to have some
Decent.
modest look to what you're wearing. And when you go to the gym, you're supposed to be working out for self-improvement, and it becomes very distracting and almost embarrassing sometimes if there's too much being shown, or that.
Well, I was thinking more on the count that you're working against yourself because you're trying to tone muscles. And the restrictive high compression garment, yeah, it's making you stand straight.
But you're not using the muscles that you should be using in order
and
to.
you're working so hard, and I question if there's a benefit to that, and I've never seen any studies about that.
Well, I haven't seen any studies either, but I do know that if you have an injury and you brace the injury, it will help protect that area until the body has healed itself. But then you need to remove that protection so that the body can move again and the connective tissue can rehydrate. But on the flip side of that is that tight-fitting garment that you're wearing is sending messages to the brain that there's a tightness there, and so you have that proprioceptive system working that may actually have you try to pull your belly in a little bit more if you know that you've got that tight garment on. So
You know, there are some belts that people put around their waist, which is this.
when they're
weight-
weightlifting,
Yeah, no, not the weightlifting. It's rubber material, and they wear it when they do exercise. They sweat more here. Do they? You know which one
we're
I'm
trying to
talking
spot
about?
reduce.
Yes, does it? I don't think it works. Does it?
Okay, so on the long term, no.
Yeah.
On the short term, if you've got that material pressing against the skin, we get cellulite, right? And so the cellulite is actually the fat pressing out through the connective tissue, okay, and making a very lumpy appearance. So when you wear those types of things, or you go to get the anti-cellulite massage, it will actually work for about 24 to 48 hours because all that's happening is that the fat is being pushed back through the connective tissue, but it's still there. and it's going to come back out. So
So you have to do it not 3 days before the big event.
the night before.
The night
Exactly.
before.
The night before. So
Or
the-
first thing in the morning.
but it's still there. Your body composition is still unhealthy. So
It doesn't make them. They claim that they make the fat burn more than normal exercises. It
I-
melts away the fat. That's what they call it.
I
No, I don't. I don't.
It gives
I
people
never-
the idea that it's taking away the fat.
but here you go.
It's
So-
perception.
So if I'm gonna put if I have a claim that if I wear this around my waist when I'm exercising, and that motivates me to get in that gym and exercise, then is it? I mean, is that really the reason why they're getting trimmer, or is it because they're now consistently exercising?
Right.
So
It's a
I'm-
chicken and egg
So
thing.
it's
Right.
Like,
You know,
so
if I'm all for something that's a healthy way to motivate, and it's not hurting the person,
Right.
unless it's really tight, in which case you're not going to be able to breathe. You're going to constrict your internal organs. Your spine is not going to receive the benefits of doing the training that you need. What Marcia was saying about having that support there, so your body's not going to actually be creating the stability for itself. But if you're going to be lifting heavy weights, doing Olympic lifts, and that type of, there's a need for that, and there's usually leather, and they have
And they're
to
stiff.
create. Yes, they have to create that internal pressure so that they don't get hurt with the heavy
And
weights.
something like that you wouldn't do on your own. You would be doing it with experts
Over
around.
a very long period of time. Yes,
Because
it's not
it's-
something you just dive into.
It's like I'm going to lose all this weight before the reunion,
Right.
or before the physical. Military has a physical thing once in a while, and all these people head to the gym because I'm going to get in shape in a week,
So
and that never works.
the clothing thing, while we're on the shrinking, right, losing, you'll see that people come in and they've got those rubber, let's sweat ourselves to death type of non-breathable garments that they, cuff at the ankles, cuff at the wrists. They've got their towels around them, and they're, on that treadmill running or on that stepper, and they're just, looking like they're just going to fall over any minute. That's very unhealthy. And
Isn't it dangerous too?
It's-
Because of
well,
the
it's-
dehydration and all
it's-
those things?
absolutely, and it's hard on the heart. It's
Right.
hard on the brain. Your body temperature gets dangerously high, and the body can't cool itself. So,
You're
I
in
would
your own little
sti-
sweat box
right.
for way too long.
And exerting yourself. It's not like you're just laying in there.
It's
and-
not like
and
you're
relaxing.
going in a sweat
in a
room.
in a sauna. Yeah. So those are very unhealthy. And I will see boxers and fitness
Instructors?
presenter. They go for they go to model to win the fitness competitions.
Oh, I see.
Oh, the
And
bodybuilders.
they have to decrease their body weight to get as lean as they can. So they are trying to dehydrate themselves.
They're dehydrating and building muscle definition.
So that and but that's part of their sport, and it's part of what they do for their sport. But for general population, we don't want to do things that are unhealthy for ourselves. We want to protect our well-being.
Well, that becomes the center of their life because they're on special diets.
And they're all the group of them, everyone competing. They're all doing
Together.
the same type of program. So, but it's not recommended for you or I going into the gym.
You were talking about people go to the gym for certain and some kind of occasions, and that is true because when I go to the gym, I see the people around January time. Everybody's there, around right beginning of the summer, everybody's there.
God forbid I'm
You
going
know,
to look
and
good
that
in my
doesn't-
bathing suit.
Right.
Yeah.
And then, my favorite, as a design person, they go and they go to the store and they buy a black bathing suit because in the store, a black bathing suit is slimming. But then you're going to sit on white sand and you're going to look heavier because your background. Now, a black bathing suit against our black curtains, you're going to disappear and you're going to look thin. But you've got to think of where it's just like the weight of the outfit. You've got to think of where you are going to be and what the background is going to be.
And if you're exercising outside at night, if you're going to be walking, as we get into the fall and to the winter season, it's going to get dark much earlier in this area.
Yes,
And so you want to make sure that you have reflective clothing on and carry a flashlight to be safe because drivers can't see you.
Yeah, I
when
was
you're-
coming back at 10 o'clock at night from a county meeting, and there were all these people out running. And it was pitch dark, and it was really hot that day, and I understood why they were out running, but it was very difficult, particularly since they run across roads on the
Exactly.
WO&D trail.
Yes, yes. So reflective clothing is very important, and also for cyclists in this area, because when you get off work at 5:30 or 6 o'clock,
It's
you go
darker
home and
though.
change. Yeah, and so it's very important that you be able to be seen when it's at night or early in the
Early
morning.
morning, my daughter
Absolutely.
goes out and runs Kelly Drive in Philadelphia at 5:30 in the morning with a group of other lawyers.
So and it's dark then.
It's
as well,
super
in
dark
the
then,
wintertime, yeah.
and at least they're smart enough to go as a group.
Yeah.
But you talked about night. What about daytime in sun? Sunscreen.
Sunscreen, absolutely, yes. Sunscreen is, and the temptation is to just go out. Like you'll see the guys running with no shirt on, and the women out with the sports bras and little teeny shorts, and that's comfortable. But if you're going to wear, you should be wearing sunscreen, and you want an SPF that's going to accommodate the time that you're outside, and you want to put it on about 30 minutes before you go out so that it has time to absorb into the skin before you go out and sweat.
And also, when you go to the water, you have to keep reapplying. You don't just say, "Okay, I put it this morning. That's enough." I have a funny story to say about the sunscreen. Every year, my brother has a place in North Carolina. We go there. My niece was like 5-6 years old. We keep asking her, put the sunscreen on. She said, no, I don't want it. And my sister was not going to go into the water. She didn't put sunscreen, but we walked along the water. She got burned. And the next day she comes and says, Auntie, what happened to you? She said, I didn't put the sunscreen. That's what it happened to me. She ran just like a bullet out. She comes to me with a big box of sunscreen. Put it all on me. Put it all on me.
Yes.
She was so scared.
Would you believe we only we have less than 3 minutes?
Oh.
So what's the most
Okay.
important thing people should remember?
Yes.
Okay, to dress for the type of activity in the environment that you are going to be exercising in. I think that's the most important. And if you're not sure, and you're starting, maybe you're going to go skiing or you're going to start jogging or whatever it is, talk to a professional that knows about that type of sport and learn what type of attire is necessary for that
For
sport.
the skiing, you have to put a sunscreen too.
Yes, you do.
Yes.
Anytime
Remember.
you're outside,
Outside.
you need to put on sunscreen. It comes down to that. And hats are nice.
Yeah, hats are very important in the wintertime because we lose so much heat from the top of our head. So match the attire with the type of exercise that you're doing.
And if you're going to be running or doing other things outside, you need buddies that go with you.
Yes.
It's
safety.
God forbid
safety.
for safety, but God forbid you you physically get to trouble. You need somebody with you.
And the phone.
And a
Have your
phone.
phone with you at all time.
And know your route if you're going to
Yes.
be running or walking outside. You need to know your route where you can get help.
And
We
plus, you
have
know-
we have come to the end. It
goes
doesn't
too
seem
fast.
possible.
We always have someone to say.
The dangerous triple. Now these two exercise, you can tell I don't, but you've given me inspiration.
Yes.
Good.
We
So
are happy to do
it
that.
is very important, particularly today is
Thank you.
September 23rd. It's the middle of the day. We don't know what's going on. We are closing to wish every nation everywhere peace.
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 Peace to everyone and everywhere.